All right, let's jump right in. We hear all the time about the massive challenges facing healthcare, but what about the solutions? Today, we're going to look at one company's pretty ambitious plan to tackle some of the biggest health crises of our time. So, is it even possible to engineer a healthier future? Let's dig in.
To really get a grip on what's at stake, you've got to start right here. This single sentence just frames the entire challenge perfectly. We're not talking about a small problem, we're talking about billions of people. That is a staggering reality, and it really sets the stage for everything else we're about to talk about. So that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? You've got diseases getting more and more complex, costs are just skyrocketing, so the hunt for a real solution is more urgent than ever. Well, one of the world's biggest healthcare companies, Roche, believes it might just have a blueprint.
Okay, so before we unpack what Roche's blueprint is all about, we need to understand the pressures that are forcing this kind of change. Right now, healthcare systems all over the world are at a critical turning point, a real crossroads, facing what you could call a perfect storm of challenges. Now, what's so wild here is how all these things feed into each other. I mean, we're living longer, which is awesome, right? But it also means a higher burden of chronic disease. Costs are going up pretty much everywhere, and even the progress we thought we were making in access to care is, well, fragile and uneven. It's this tangled web, where pulling on one string just tightens all the others.
So, faced with all that, what do you even do? Roche's big idea isn't just, hey, let's make another pill here or a new test there. No, they're talking about re-engineering the whole system, and they're starting from the inside out. And this, right here, is the absolute core of their strategy. For over 125 years, Roche has had two huge divisions under one roof. Pharmaceuticals, the people who make the medicines, and diagnostics, the people who make the tests. Their whole bet is this: what if we could get these two sides to work together seamlessly? They believe that could create a fundamentally new, more effective way of doing healthcare. And this just lays it out so perfectly. Think about the old way. It's like two different teams playing two different games on the same field. They're in silos, they barely talk, but with Roche's model, it's totally different. What the testing guys learn directly tells the medicine guys what to build. It creates this amazing feedback loop where each side just keeps making the other one smarter. Okay, so you've got this powerful model. Where do you point it? Well, and this is super important, they're not just playing catch-up with today's problems. They're looking ahead to 2035 and targeting what are going to be the three biggest health burdens on the planet: cancer, neurological diseases like Alzheimer's, and heart issues. This is all about getting ahead of the curve. Having a great blueprint is one thing, but it's just a piece of paper, right? You need an engine to actually build the thing. So how do you turn this big idea into actual life-saving stuff? Well, you need a monster of an innovation engine, and that means investment, technology, and a whole new way of thinking. Let's start with the money, and we're talking big money. A whopping 1.2 billion Swiss francs for a single new research center. And this isn't just some fancy new building. The whole point of it is to literally break down the walls between scientists, get the biologists talking to the data nerds, talking to the chemists, all under one roof. And you can't talk innovation today without talking about technology, specifically AI. This quote from NVIDIA's CEO, who is a key partner, he nails it. AI is set to completely revolutionize this industry. It's not a buzzword for them. It's a real tool, and through their Genetech division, they're teaming up with the best in the business to make it happen. All this AI stuff leads to this incredible concept they've developed called the lab in a loop. So you know how research used to work? Just endless trial and error in a lab? Throw that out the window. This is a constant, dynamic cycle where powerful computer models and real-world lab experiments are always feeding each other info, getting smarter and faster with every single loop. Think of it like a four-step dance. First, you feed the computers just tons and tons of data. Second, the AI sifts through it and finds patterns a human could never see. Third, it makes a prediction, something the scientists can test, like right now. And fourth, this is the magic part, the results of that test go right back into the AI. It learns, it gets better, and the whole cycle just gets faster and faster. Okay, so the strategy sounds great. The tech is cool, but does any of this actually work? Let's move past the theory and look at the real-world impact, not just on spreadsheets, but on real people's lives. And this is where it all becomes real. Meet Coney. Her story is what this is all for. She's on a new medicine that came directly out of this new way of doing things, and it's been shown to slash the risk of her cancer getting worse by more than 50%. I mean, wow. This is the why behind all that science. And what's fascinating is that this focus on helping people like Horny, it's also incredibly good for business. Their 2024 numbers show sales are up 7% and profits are up a huge 14%. It really proves that you can do well by doing good. The sheer scale here, it's just mind-boggling. Just in 2024, think about this. 30 billion diagnostic tests. They screened 26.5 million women for cervical cancer risk. They launched 21 new tests, and they got 2 game-changing new medicines approved. This is that blueprint in action on a global scale. So where do they go from here? Well, this isn't just about hitting quarterly targets. They're looking way down the road, and they're connecting the dots between our health and the planet's health.
And that vision includes some seriously ambitious climate goals. I mean, check this out. Net zero emissions across their entire supply chain by 2045. And then, get this, absolute zero emissions by 2050. They're the only big company in their industry even trying for that. It's this powerful idea that, hey, if the planet's sick, how can we possibly be healthy? And that brings us all the way back to where we started. Roche has put its blueprint on the table, right? It's this mix of integrated science, powerful AI, and a real commitment to sustainability. But the big question remains, can this one company's model really be scaled up to fix the global healthcare crisis? The plan is in motion, the early results look good, but whether this is the blueprint for a healthier world for all of us, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.